day. A couple of announcements before we get into today's board repair while I clean my desk. Announcement number 1, store.rossmangroup.com was having issues for a month where you couldn't add items to cart in certain browsers, and that has been fixed, and the developer that was working on it has been fired. I am very, very sorry for that. I have been focused on many other things for the past month and have not put the focus in a store.rossmangroup.com that I should have. However, if you wish to buy gallons of flux, Atten hot air rework stations, or chipsets for MacBooks, we do have all the ISL 9239s, hot air rework stations, and flux that you would ever need. And second thing I'd like to go over, if you are interested in a job doing entry-level board repair, or if you are an experienced hard drive data recovery technician, do check out our email, don't delay, work here today at rossmangroup.com. That's don't delay, work here today at rossmangroup.com. Again, entry-level board repair technician, experienced data recovery, hard drive data recovery technician. I know I'm going to get a bunch of emails from people who don't have experience with hard drive data recovery, so that I could save you the time, because I know you're going to email. If you email and you don't have experience, I'm going to hit the delete button just to save you your time. But for the board repair position, that is entry level. That does not mean I'm going to teach you how to solder. It does not mean that I expect to have to teach you what PP3B42 is. I just expect that you have some basics down. So do email, and we will get into the board fixing. So those are those 2 announcements. Now, with that being done, we are going to open up a MacBook and try and fix it and make it work again. Are you all excited? Are you all excited? Ay, 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 ay. I can't do much about that Orioles fan. I did it on Restream. So this is what I use. I'll show you. So I did this. See? One second. Let me just make sure I don't have shit open I'm not supposed to. Okay, so this is what I do. See this? I hit Update Title. Lewis tries to fix a MacBook board. I have updated the title. That's it. If it didn't update for you, then I don't know what to say. I'm not... So logging in at Twitch requires 2-factor authentication, and logging into YouTube used to be easy, but now you have to click Use Classic Studio because their new studio doesn't work, and I'm not just no. So if it works through here, great. If it doesn't work through here, then F it. But yeah, that is that. I'm excited to be paying $4 million premium on the apartment I just bought. Thank you, Lewis. Yeah, the world is really an interesting place. Gotta love New York City real estate. So. Do we have any Twitch mods in? Any Twitch mods to remove this senseless, stupid shitpost thing that we have here? Alright. So this is a MacBook. The first thing that I notice, the airbags are starting to pop out over here. This battery is going to need replacing. First thing we're going to do with this MacBook, same thing we do with every MacBook before we start testing. I am going to unplug the battery. We are going to unplug the battery. And see how many amps it's taking. Is this a working amp meter? Okay, the amp meter works. It reminds me depressingly that my phone can't quick charge. 1 point. Where's your 9 volts? Anyway, alright, so the USB amp meter is doing its job. There we go. Must have just not been plugged in perfectly, or maybe it's dirty. That'll be fixed with some cleaning. So it turned on, then immediately turned off. Let's try it again. 5 volts, 24 milliamps. 20 volts, 23 milliamps. So it does get to 20 volts, which means that PP3V3_G3 hot, the power rail that is required for my USB-C mux chips to turn on, is working. Because this USB-C mux chip would not tell the charger, hey, I'm a laptop, I'm not a GoPro, I want 20 volts, give me 20 volts. This would not be turning on if PP3V3 was not present. However, it is only taking 23 milliamps, which means that it's not turning on and is indeed dead. So we are going to have to look into why that is happening. You would think it would have a sensor that tells you when the battery's turning into the pillows. It does. It's called a trackpad. So once your trackpad cracks, you know that your battery's dead. It's a very progressive system we have going here. It's a progressive system. Progressively worse with each year, each passing year. So how are you all doing in the chat today? I just published a board repair video, which I expect will get 1% of my total subscribers to view, if even. Really don't get it. Don't get why this channel is like all real estate and no one gives a shit about actual electronics repair. Not quite sure how the hell YouTube works, but that's the way it works. That's the way it works. And one of the things that in my mid-20s that I embraced, is rather than become aggravated or pointing out how the world doesn't make sense, I will simply live according to the world as it is to some extent. Rather than constantly try and fight what doesn't make sense, I will cave. So you people want to see me show shitty New York City real estate. I get it. I get it. I have a YouTube analytics page. I get it. Because I see people say, where's the board repair videos? You used to post board repair videos. So yeah, I used to post 1 or 3 a week. I still post 1 or 3 a week. Just nobody watches it. So what are you going to do? Same thing happened to Eli, the computer guy, I remember. He was posting these programming videos and Arduino tutorials. Shit would get 800 views on a 1 million subscriber channel. That's not even 1%. That's 0.1%. And then he goes off into all this ridiculous Tim Pool shit where he pretty much sits next to the article and just talks about the article for 15 or 20 minutes. And people say, why are you making this shit content? Because you watch it. Sometimes I wonder if Eli's gone off the deep end. Perhaps he did a long time ago. Most likely I did a long time ago. I think I went off the deep end a long time ago. Do we have a mod that can change the game? Let's see. Yeah, Restream doesn't let me change the game. I can choose gaming content, but if I don't choose gaming content, it doesn't let me change game. I gotta turn off the game so that it never has a game, because this way I never have to log in and change the game. Do we have a Twitch mod here? Twitch mod who can use the bot. Thank you, High Voltage. I'm in a class right now. Should I leave this? Leave it on Dota, not like it really matters. Yeah, we don't want false advertising. That's kind of mean. Thank you, Rapids. Okay, we're going to do this. we are going to get this little screw out from the charging port. Avatar is a movie about a guy who betrays his entire planet so he can clap some alien cheeks. I never saw Avatar the movie. I used to work at Avatar Studios, which used to be called Power Station Studios in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Fun fact. Alright. Take this out of here. One little cable over here. This is why when I'm pulling the board out, I pull out very slowly in case there's anything that's still screwed or fastened. I'm not going to rip it. So you slowly, and if you feel resistance, you pull a couple of times so you can try to see where it's coming from. If it's coming from these little sticky things, sticking the rubber piece to the fan, that's one thing. But if it's coming from anything else, you slow down. This here is a MacBook. It smells a little bit like my old electric bicycle. Strange. There's no such thing as a finished state iForce. Always evolving, always changing. .33 milliamps, not turning on. Now my first question is going to be, do I have a pee-pee bus? One way to tell if I have a pee-pee bus. We're a pee-pee bus hunter here. Just call me the pee-pee bus hunter. We have a pee-pee bus. Do we have some of our other basic 3.3 and 5 volt rails? I'm debating it, Barry West. I was thinking about it, but I don't feel like I deserve it. What's your thoughts on... I don't know what the fuck that even is. Maybe I'm showing my age there, but... Yeah, I don't think I deserve or earned it. And I think, Barry West, it's a sign. So I took a little bit of time for myself to work on a hobby for fun so that I could actually leave. And literally the day before I'm scheduled to leave and I get the last thing I needed to leave and have a little fun on a vacation with it, my hobby went on fire. So I believe that is, if there is a God, his way of saying, know your role and fix MacBooks. F you. You work and then you die. So I'm probably not going to put another thing together. I will push for the place that made the battery that went on fire to, take some accountability for the fact that they put together a battery that went on fire when none of my other builds that use EM3 EV batteries do that. And I didn't really push for it with the first one, but like these AliExpress vendors really have to kind of start taking some basic accountability for this. And I realize that that's ridiculous and a lull because it's China. But we'll see. If you don't try, you never know what you can get. So, might make you feel better watching your videos for a while. May play around with soldering iron. While watching one of the previous streams, I soldered a tiny FM radio. It works in the first try. When something works and you got it to work again, even if it's a cheap piece of shit, it's kind of cool. Shit, there's two at once. Fuck. Real life genetically engineered cat girls. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. You're talking to the wrong guy. You're talking to the wrong guy. That's just... That sounds weird and creepy. Okay. So... Alright, so what we're going to do here is look up 820-00281 board. We take U7650. So the first thing I want to do, see if my basic rails are here. First one that is usually important is PP5ES5. See if that's being created. Right down here. Steady. Alright, next up is going to be PP5ES4, which is going to be up here. You are not present. Go figure. And next is going to be PP3V3S5. PP3V3S5 is going to be down here. Present. Wait. Pulsing! Are you present or pulsing? You are pulsing, you piece of shit. Why are you pulsing? Yeah, that's clearly pulsing. Alright. PP5ES4 is not shorted. Now I want to see all the rails that are above PP3V3S5. So I'm going to check out PP3V3S4, PP3V3S3, and so on and so forth, and see if any of them are short-circuited to ground. PP3V3S4 is going to be over here. That is not shorted to ground. It's not a pulsing PP5ES5, it's a pulsing PP3V3S5. Sus plus probably, but I don't really bother with that. Chances of getting a GPU that's not a reballed piece of shit. PP3V3SO, let's see where that is. PP3V3SO is going to be the bottom right pad over here. Meh. That's not it. Orioles fan, you're welcome to view the stuff on library, free of charge, with no advertisements. All videos that I upload to YouTube are also synced to library. The only way to get people to stop watching my content on YouTube, or to get viewership away from YouTube, is to allow the platform to kill itself. If they want to play 7 mid-roll ads in a video, go for it. Now this TPS chip looks soldered in a very strange way. I don't know, those joints kind of look weird. But I'm really grabbing at straws here. Oh man, I'm grasping at straws. Looking at the solder joints at the stock TPS 51980. That's not it. No corrosion, nothing blown up. I grabbed the wrong board. Is that dust or corrosion? That's a really strange crystal. I'm not sure if it's usually that color or if that's just me. Someone said they saw a solder ball over here, but I did not. See you later, Rimdog. Now what I'm doing here is called grasping at straws. Someone on the internet, that unfortunately does not make any sense. But if your car doesn't start and someone says what's wrong with it and you go apart, that is... Now this is not going to be what's actually wrong with it. Let's just be clear here. I'm just doing this because I don't really know what else I should be doing. Why is there an e-bike soldering tip on my iron? Get out of here. You remind me of my blown up e-bike. GTFO. Okay. Thanks to you, I swapped one heating element in my kitchen oven. The oven is 25 years old and the brand had the part still in stock. Wow, what brand is that, out of curiosity? I'm kind of curious who's supporting their kitchen appliances for 25 years, and I'm sure other people looking for kitchen appliances would also be interested in having an answer to that. Wait a second. Heat up. This tip is pretty bad compared to the tip that was used to be on my iron. Strange. What the yeah, fuck this tip. This is garbage. Let's find another one. This is rubbish. It's interesting, my old tip is not in my tip selector. It used to be here. That's really sad. Huh. Here you are, you little bastard. Thanks for the content. Can we get more with Dr. Evil Genius? Perhaps. Perhaps. Even this is all... yeah. Gotta get one of those solder tip cleaners. Clean my tip soon. I don't know, Q's Tech. I would have loved to do an autopsy of the battery, but unfortunately that, 600 degrees Celsius does not really leave you with much to go with. 600 degrees Celsius just kind of takes everything in the world and makes it go boom. Like electro boom. Someone says, hi, y'all have my MacBook. Maybe we do. Okay. Hopefully this is not your MacBook, because this one's about to go in the no-fix pile after this. New real estate videos are just me looking at stuff and window shopping. Kinda curious what the market is like. I don't know, Peppy. Don't know when I'm gonna leave. I actually planned on scoping out some places until stuff went on fire. I'm looking at getting a permit, learner's permit, to get a motorcycle license. So check this out. This is one of the best parts of New York City. You're not allowed to take the test online. You have to take it in person. However, because of COVID, they're limiting the tests. So if I wanted to, the earliest I can take a test in the city is November 17th if I sign up today. November 7th. Not like to get a license, to get the learner's permit. So if I want to go outside the city, I can go upstate to Syracuse to take it on, I think, October 7th or October 10th. But that's 300-mile trip. A 300-mile trip. 300-mile trip, man. That's fucking crazy. In Florida, you can take it online. Florida does not have de Blasio or Cuomo, though. Oh, come on. Slide into place. There probably wasn't enough solder on the center pad. It's not sliding the way I'd like. I signed up for November and October. I'm thinking I'm probably going to wind up going to Syracuse because I'm impatient. Florida has lots of COVID-19 cases. Oh, come on. Yes, let's take a look at this. All right, I'll take a look at this in a moment, all right? Give me 1 second. So, one moment, and I will take a look at this. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so it looks like New York City has 32,000 coronavirus deaths and 439,000 cases. Florida has 622,000 cases, but only 11,000 deaths. So they have a better survival rate and less than half the deaths. Oh yeah, I'm definitely afraid of going to Florida. Yep, definitely want to stay out of Florida. I definitely prefer to stay in New York, alright. Yep, New York. I guess there the question is, do you want to get sick or do you want to die? I don't know. I'd rather get sick than die. Given the choice of getting sick or dying, I'll take get sick. Oh, max, yeah. A lot of the time, I don't. The note doesn't actually say that, so my notes suck. I usually just say fixed, comma, work. Paul usually says fixed, comma, working. Oh, Neff, awesome. Good brands then. Same shit. I'm going to call this a board for Chris or Paul. Incorrect, Clinton. 100%, 110% incorrect, actually. 110% incorrect. Nope. So let's see. We've checked for short circuits on all the rails that are pulsing. We have checked for corrosion all over the board. We have checked for signals present to enable them. Nope. I know what works and what don't, and this is gonna be crap. Let's see. There's no T2 on this. This is... CTFC goes 4L. If an enable line was bad, you wouldn't have PP3V3S5 pulsing. It's pulsing because something is, when it's turning on, is turning right off. It means either your PCH or PM, mostly your PCH is bad, or you have a short, which we've already checked for in every adjacent line. So this is what we call bottom of the pile. Especially because this one's not even approved yet. So usually, like, if it's simple, I just go through the whole pile and I fix them all, and if someone declines, it's like, okay, fuck it, you got a freebie, no big deal. But I'm not going to do that on one that's not even approved yet. Screw that. That's like, just no. No corrosion, no short, no evidence. Turn on, turn off. Like, that's... Get an x-ray machine or some shit. If you have a board where you see a light at the end of the tunnel, you could easily spend 2 or 3 hours trying to fix it, and it's worthwhile. But when you see no light at the end of the tunnel, you call it. You may spend a year trying to save someone from cancer, but if you and it succeeds. But if you see that someone has a bullet in the head and they've bled out onto the sidewalk 2 gallons of blood, you call it what it is. So this is going to go in a bin. Let's see if the customer approves. If they don't approve, well, didn't waste much time on it. And if they do approve, yeah, Paul, how's it going? All right, we're going to grab another machine, and I'll see you shortly. One moment. Paul will have fun with this one. It is what it is, Rico. It is what it is. It definitely isn't what it is. Oh, son of a bitch. Did I just do what I think I did? Fuck, I did. Son of a... Hi. Whoop. Whoop. We just do this. We do this. Okay. Jesus Christ. Loud and clicky. JP sent me this keyboard to drive Paul crazy. I remember that. Okay, be right back. Be right back. BRB. Hello. How's your turtle?
They're happy. They're being good this time.
Have you introduced the male turtle to the female turtle yet?
Dangerous.
Poor turtle. Paul has an incel turtle. Poor little incel turtle. So sad. Turtle should be free. It should be free. No turtle soup. We're not eating Paul's turtle. I'm sure Paul's turtle tastes amazing, but we're not going to do that. All right, everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be working on yet another dead MacBook. Before we get started, our announcements. Firstly, our apologies for store.rossmangroup.com not working the way it's supposed to work. We have since fixed the site and intend to be adding some new items shortly. Some items we have: hot air stations with bent nozzles that come with them, gallons of Amtech flux, and all sorts of chips like the ISL 9239, ISL 6259, CD3215. And that just totally fucked up my announcement. Okay, I have to redo the beginning of the video. I don't understand it either, man. You're asking the wrong person. I haven't really been following that shit. I know that the post office has said that if we do mail-in voting, they're worried that first-class mail is not fast enough or doesn't have the standard to be able to get everything done in time. And, yeah, the post office has kind of been a mess because, unlike many other organizations, they're required to fund their pensions beforehand. So there's been a shortfall in their budget. Yeah, but the rest of it I don't really understand, I'll be honest with you. Any tips for longer distance rides up to 60 miles without a Bafang motor? Without any motor or without a Bafang? For tips for long distance rides, just carry water, brake pads, and a chain tool for if you break your chain or a chain link. Maybe a spare tire or some slime, a spare tube and stuff like that. All right, so let's try this again. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to get started working on yet another MacBook. Before we get started, let's have our announcements for the day. Firstly, we apologize for store.rossmangroup.com not being functional for a while. Store.rossmangroup.com is now back to functioning. We have since fired the Magento developer that made the website not work in Firefox and several other browsers. You can add items to cart again, like gallons of Amtech Flux, ISL 9239s, CD3215s, LT3470s, LP8550s, and hot air stations that will come with the bent nozzles. And we also have a lot of stuff that we probably should be adding to the site for the newer machines that we haven't. So let us know in the comments down below the chips that we're missing and the chips we should have. Secondly, if you are interested in a job and you are knowledgeable enough that you could be an entry-level board repair technician, meaning you know how to solder, you know what PP3V42 is, contact us at don'tdelay, workheretoday at rossmangroup.com. That's don't delay, work here today at rossmangroup.com. Also, if you are an experienced data recovery technician when it comes to hard drives, feel free to email us. There is also an open position for hard drive data recovery as well. You must, well, gargle my balls because you're listening to an ad right now. But thank you for the $5. That's actually kind of mean of me. I apologize. Here, you know what? I'll give you this. I apologize, and I will give you something really cute to look at. You can't be mad at that, can you? Also, if you are a hard drive data recovery technician, we have positions open for that as well. Must be experienced. Feel free to email if you don't have experience. I will probably delete the email. Just being honest here so we don't waste our time. That being said, let's get on to the video. We're going to open up this MacBook. We're going to make it work again. Sorry for messing up your intro. It is what it is. That's no worries. It always happens. Because I have it in my old video, but I know I'm probably going to forget that I have the intro in the old video and delete it because I didn't actually fix the board, and then I'll never have my intro. That's the way this usually works. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Oh no, not this old piece of shit. No, this is the Erica MacBook. Ew. 820-3209. Gross. Puh. The PCH isn't even integrated into the processor. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm getting a call from one of those other spam numbers.
Please do not hang up. We are calling about the status.
Oh, suck my dick. I get these calls like 5 times a day now. So aggravating. How are you enjoying your new Moto G? I've been using Moto Gs for almost 2 years and they're made. Oh, God, mother flowers. I like my Moto G. It works very well. I like the job, but I live in London. London is a really, really fucking long commute. Unless you're willing to do a Titanic commute every day to work, I don't know how we're going to make that work out. You can always try, but something tells me the commute's going to fuck you up and you're going to get written up for being late really often. So this here is taking 19 milliamps, jumping back up and down. Let's get the board out of the case and try to figure out what's wrong with this junk book. This is the same model Erica has. 820-3209. Gross. You know what really sucks? When you get to that point where you're large enough a company that you actually need to have like write-ups in an HR department. I think I've gotten to the point where I actually have to do write-ups. It sucks, but like it really sucks. I remember saying when I was younger, once I get to a point where I have to have write-ups at my company, I'm probably going to quit. And now I'm there, but it's like, shit, what do you do? Cam, if you're willing to fly over. So I hired Cam to do customer service, and the thing is, a lot of people really hate his British accent over the phone. I don't know why. Just lots of Americans are just cunts, and if they hear someone with a British accent, they bitch. But I'm thinking maybe he'll be able to lose the accent faster if he moves here. He's got that Boris Johnson accent going on. I sense another PM Sleep S4L missing. Sideshow Bob going on here. Maybe it'll turn on now that I took it out of the case. Hi, Legorel. How are you? And thank you very much. The issue is 6 milliamps to 19 milliamps. We have a green light, so we're probably getting we are probably getting have a working SMC and PP342_G3 hot present. Let's go over the board and see what we see. I'm expecting corrosion by the clock chip. Short on PP bus. Actually, no, not a short on PP bus. Maybe a blown fuse on PP bus G3 hot, but okay, never mind. Here we go. Here we go, baby. See those probe points? See those probe points? They're corroded. Look at that. We have corrosion everywhere. And what I would like to do let me show you what I want to do. Yes. This is actually messier than the X-Acto knife, in my opinion. Very weirdly placed corrosion. Aha, there we go. That's the headshot right there. This is the chip that creates my 3.3 and 5 volt rails that you saw in the other stream. That's the headshot. Thank you for watching ATRT7. Sometimes I kind of wonder if what I'm producing actually helps or gets anybody to do anything. And seeing stuff like that, or seeing Tim streams where he shows how he's fixing stuff that gets butchered by much larger organizations really does kind of make all the work that goes into making this kind of stuff and editing it and everything seem like it's worthwhile. So thank you very much for that. I really genuinely do appreciate it, and it does kind of encourage me to make sure I keep on doing what I'm doing. So just again, thank you very much. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that junk and I'm going to replace it. I'll be right back, right after this break from our sponsors. Anywhere where a donor 3209 board can be found?
That one of the big ones?
The error before the 30, the one that's most common.
What do you think, Chrissy? You know, Marcy.
3209?
Oh no.
This is the Erica machine.
No.
I know. We never fixed that piece of shit. Nobody owns that machine besides Erica and this one customer. Junker.
Over there.
Oh. Oh, that looks like old junk.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Chris found one from you down there.
Ho ho. Thank you. Wonder if this one works. Do you like my sign?
Yeah.
I got the cord, so I'm gonna be able to attach. I'm gonna attach it to my foot pedal. So then I can shoot people with a pellet gun if they walk in when that's all on. Now, as you can see, down there is a missing pad. Now, a lot of people have asked, why don't I use a fiberglass pen to scrape stuff instead of a knife or tweezers? Well, look at the size of the pad. See the size of the pad? See that? Okay, now check out the size of the fiberglass pen. Yeah. So, this is my little X-Acto blade over here. See? So, hopefully that answers that question. I have genuinely appreciated to the individual that sent me these fiberglass pens. Thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate it. However, if you see me using a knife instead, it's because the size of it is much more convenient and allows me to do what it is that I'm doing. How's the quick been working for you? It's alright. I would probably buy an Atten if I was going to, go back in time and start purchasing stuff. They're virtually indistinguishable, honestly. It's just the Atten is like mildly cheaper. Okay, so that's that. I tried to fix my mini PC. Couldn't see any corrosion, no schematic. Oh, yep, that sounds like your good old-fashioned nightmare. Alright, wait for the alcohol to evaporate. Add some authentic Amtech soldering flux that you can now add to cart on store.rossmangroup.com. Store.rossmangroup.com is back up and running, my friends. Tell me the chips that you want us to stock. And I will make an effort to stock them. Alright, so we've rehabilitated that pad. Have you considered moving to Long Island? It's still in New York, but doesn't look like it. The problem with New York... the problem with Long Island is the property tax is 2.3 to 2.5%, so you don't actually own anything there. Kate is doing some very high quality concern trolling. Do not take the bait, my friends. Do not take the bait of what's called a concern troll. Alright. So this is in place. Yeah, Long Island doesn't count because there's no such thing as home ownership there. Home ownership doesn't exist. If you're paying $15,000 to $20,000 a year, on top of the $500 to $1 million you paid for your house, I mean, you don't own anything. You don't own shit. Long Island, you really like. There's no ownership in that there at whatsoever. I mean, they've managed to scam people into living someplace where you buy a house for $500,000. And then you pay $12,000 or more a year for the privilege of keeping it. It's hysterical. Kate, because I've made 3 really stupid business decisions over the course of my life, which I document in a few videos. So why my old business failed is one. So that's a big part of it. And I did not... that was really a big part of it. I made one business decision that was awful. I don't know, when I get more business or when marketing works, I expand. When it doesn't, I contract. Bad luck and bad decisions. It's a combination of bad luck and bad decisions. However, here we have good luck and good decisions. So check this out. Now it's working again. It's not power cycling. So... first thing I'm going to do, go to Flex Board View and open up the board view and schematic for an 820-3209. And yes, for the person that said taxes go to schools and roads. So here's the thing. If the schools in Long Island cost $15,000 to $20,000 a year, and there are other parts of the country where they manage to educate their children with property taxes of $2,000 to $3,000 a year, are you getting a school that's 5 times better in Long Island? Or is that money just going somewhere it's not supposed to? I tend to believe the latter. I really find it very difficult to believe that the schools in Long Island are 4 to 5 times better than the schools in Delaware. Maybe they are. Maybe they're buying Macbooks for every student or some stupid shit like that. I became very cynical when it came to property taxes. Earlier, I think it was around 2013 or 2014, there was this entire school district that started sending me MacBooks. I'm just wondering, why the fuck are you getting people in K through 5 $1,000 computers? Are you out of your fucking mind? Who's paying for this? Oh, wait. You are, if you own a home in that neighborhood. You are paying for kids to have MacBooks. Fuck that. No way in hell. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way. I'm not paying $15,000 to $20,000 a year so that kids can have iPads and MacBooks in every fucking class in kindergarten through 5th grade when they're going to destroy them. Idiot. Man, when I was a kid, we had Tandies in school. Tandies! All right, rant over. But, yeah. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have kids learn how to be computer savvy. Don't get it twisted. But the whole idea behind Macs is that they just work. The whole idea behind a Mac is that forget about all that Linux and forget about all that Windows shit. We have our own special magical way of doing things that makes it way easier than everybody else's. So you're going to teach kids how to learn a non-standard system to some extent that is designed from the ground up to be easy to people who are computer noobs and charge the taxpayer more money for their homes to afford it. No, I want no part of that. If you want to give your kids fucking MacBooks and iPads and shit, like, you go for it with someone else's property taxes. I am for funding schools and roads. I'm for having good schools, but, Chromebook school. All right. And the person who asked why I don't stream on the main channel, because when I do, people complain about the length of the video. So I'm going to open up the schematic in the board view here, and let's forget about that, because if I think about the fact that people's, some 75-year-old lady still has to pay $1,500 to $2,000 a month in property tax so that some kid can learn how to use an iPad, I will lose my effing mind. Let's go over this. So, where was our corrosion? Where was our corrosion? Okay, so our corrosion was over here. R7245. What are you doing? So this sits between our PP5ES3 creation circuit and the chip responsible for creating it. So let's make it just view the schematic for a moment here. All right? So what this chip does is it's going to take pulses of 8 volts from the battery of the charger. This is going to pulse on and off, on and off, on and off, and send it through this inductor and then through this capacitor network. So the inductor is going to take those slices of 8 volts and kind of make it even out, and then this is going to take the edge off. These caps to ground is going to take off like all those little ripples because you're turning on, off, 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 on, off. So you're going to, the way this is going to work is you're going to have 8 volts, nothing. 8 volts turn on, nothing. 8 volts turn on for a second, nothing for maybe like 0.7 seconds and so on and so on. It's switching much faster than that, but this is just a generalized idea. And the idea here is that the part that you see that was corroded, R7245, is going between where this transistor is turning on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, and the chip that's actually controlling the transistor. So this transistor is just a switch. It just turns on, sends 8 volts over to the 5 volt output, or it turns off, sends 0 volts over to the 5 volt output. But this switch, transistor, is being controlled by this chip. This chip is the actual brains of the operation. This is the one that's, kind of flipping it on and off and on and off again, on and off again, hundreds to thousands of times a second. Now this chip that's actually controlling the switch, which is sending 8 volts to my 5 volt rail, it wants to know, what are we creating? How fast are we switching? What do we have on output over here? And the way it's going to see what's on output over there is by having a 0 ohm resistor and a capacitor between here and the output and the chip itself. So that is what this does. And it's called VBIST. And you may say, I have no idea what all this stuff is. This is all very confusing. What is a buck converter? How is a buck converter controlled? Why is there an RC circuit in between the transistor and the chip? The great part is you don't really have to know all that. What you have to do when you have a board like this is you see the corrosion, you fix the corrosion, you ultrasonic the board, and it works again. So that is about that. That's it for today. I apologize for this very, very poor explanation of a buck converter. I have lost my enthusiasm to explain it because I've explained it millions of times. I think in older videos, I used pictures to show you how this works with a little I had a oscilloscope set up on the desk, and I actually took screenshots at each phase of the buck converter circuit so that I could explain it in a manner where it made a little bit more sense. I've lost a little bit of that natural enthusiasm because those videos are like 5 or 6 years old now. But Hopefully this made sense to you. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. Oh, lastly, before we go, some tips if you are ultrasonically cleaning boards and you have a problem where you wind up killing some every now and then, or if you're new to ultrasonically cleaning, I do have a guide that I will link to here on my wiki on how to clean a motherboard. It could still use some work for sure, but it gives you some general idea when it comes to MacBooks, like the glossy versus the matte finish boards, because the glossy finished ones are often easier to kill. How can you risk killing a board in an ultrasonic cleaner? How should you use it properly so that you don't wind up killing your board? What often kills the board in an ultrasonic cleaner? And so on and so forth. This is just some basic stuff from years of experience dealing with employees that fucked up boards. And it may be useful to you if you are ultrasonically cleaning boards or just getting into liquid damage repair. And if you would like to contribute some pictures that don't suck, by all means, I would be happy to make that take them. Remember that everything that I post here is going to be openly available to anybody who wishes to view it. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. Cut. Okay. What the hell? Oh. I'm still here. I'm still here. We're still here. What? Stop!